What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the morning movie chat. I hope you're all having a very good day today. It's Wednesday. It's new comic book. It's new comic book Wednesday. It's new comic book Wednesday, folks. And if you have a local comic book shop near you, you should get out and support them. You guys know here on the channel I talk a lot about comics. I like comic books. That's part of the reason that I do this channel is to hopefully get you guys into sharing the things I love for one, but then also hopefully to get you guys into reading some of these comic books, maybe considering going out and buying some, getting out to your local comic book shop and supporting them, and sometimes even maybe to get out and watch some of the movies that I talk about and things like that, because largely there's a lot of people out there who want to dissuade you from going to see movies these days because of whether it's because of the political, how would you say, not political, but personal political preferences and things like that people claim to not like to see in movies, because that's not what movies are for. When here on the channel, I always argue that that's exactly what they're for. Is they're an artistic medium in which one can express themselves. So anyway, guys, like I said, we'll get into all of that, because we've got quite a bit of things to talk about this morning. Just I don't know. I guess a few different things. So we'll go ahead and get on into those. But before I really get into that, guys, one of the things I wanted to say was, there are some links down in the description where at any time, if you'd like, you can go and send direct donations here to the channel via Streamlabs and support us in that way. I do greatly appreciate anybody who does that. Of course, that's nothing required, because if you guys know me, I'm a nerd and I like talking about things I love anyway. So I'm gonna be here doing that no matter what. But anybody who wants to help support the channel in that way, I do greatly appreciate that. And we have had a couple of generous people here lately. Aside from my Patreon supporters, there's also links down there where you can go and become a Patreon supporter as well, for as little as $1 a month to just support the content here on the channel. I do greatly appreciate that as well. And I do have several Patreon supporters, and you can see all of those names right here at the bottom. Thank you to every single one of those people. All very good people. And as a matter of fact, one of my Patreon supporters here on the channel, Tara, she is now actually an executive producer over at the Den of Nerds, and the Den of Nerds is one of my favorite channels, guys, out there for getting news, nerdy news out there for in the Marvel and DC world, and even Star Wars as well. Lately, it's been a little more heavy on Star Wars content, because that's where we're at right now. After Star Wars comes out, probably through the end of the year, it's probably going to be pretty Star Wars heavy, and then we're really getting into MCU territory as we wind up getting ready to watch Black Widow is going to be coming out at the movie theaters here very, very soon. So now, guys, like I said, I do want to get into a few more things. And like I said, there are those links down there where you can follow. I do greatly appreciate anybody who has been donating money here. I know we've had one really good supporter here lately over the past week has been Lou. Lou is one of our brothers from, I believe, Down Under, if I'm not mistaken. He's donated several dollars to the channel. Again, thank you, Lou, and thank you once again to all of the Patreon supporters that we have. I do see we have a few people here in the building. I'm going to go ahead and say what's up to everybody. We got I Am True Skills. Thank you so much for being here. I Am True Skills says, good morning. How are you doing this morning? Maverick Pilgrim, good morning, and thank you so much for being here. Maverick Pilgrim, another one of those awesome Patreon supporters. And Tara Zahn, good morning. How are you doing? I've seen you talking as well on the video that Young Ripa just dropped this morning, and that's something I kind of want to talk about here in just a few minutes. But before I get into that, one thing I wanted to say, guys, was in case you guys don't already know, you weren't here just a few minutes ago or anything, it is New Comic Book Wednesday, and I got some comic book reviews that already dropped here on the channel, so you guys should go check those out. These one of the ones I already did the video on was these right here. We got New Mutants, Fallen Angels, and X-Force, issue number 3. These are the issue number 3s coming out of the Dawn of X series, which Jonathan Hickman, when he just recently kind of launched the rebooted the X-Men in the Marvel universe, and that's largely what is going on here. These are the titles spinning out of that. These have all been pretty good. New Mutants, this one, like the series itself, I mean, I know it's setting stuff up, introducing, some of the newer mutants, and you can tell that in the story here, because some of the I don't know, just the new mutants in here, the way the characters are, the way they are obviously from a newer generation, not me, because just the way they talk to people and handle each other, just some of that stuff, it's like yeah, I get it. It's just not me. Like the characterizations in that book. X Force was a really great book. I think X Force is my favorite out of all the Dawn of X series that have been coming out. Absolutely love this series. This is really good. The only thing is, I have a few gripes about some of the art in this particular issue. Other than that, it's been X Force has been really great, really great series, and it's turned into, I guess it's turned into a body horror type of series. And in my review, that's something I mentioned too, was actually the Saska sisters. They should probably be the ones writing this story if that's the case. But and in case before I forget, don't forget the Saska sisters' new movie Rabid, remake of a 1977 David Cronenberg classic, is getting ready to release in select theaters this Friday, as well as will be available on video on demand. You can go to Vudu. In my review that I dropped earlier this week, actually it wasn't a review, it was on Monday, I dropped a video that was a Q&A from Screamfest when they were there, because I actually went to Screamfest LA here just about 2 months ago now, and got to see the North American premiere of it. And they did a Q&A. I did that video on Monday. You should go check it out. But I also left in the comments, I left a link where you can go and download, like on Vudu, you can pre-order the Saska Sisters Rabid this week. But yeah, so X-Force was really good. Yeah, I don't know, there was just a big circle there. Fallen Angels, again, this issue really, I don't know, I didn't like this issue as much as I have the other Fallen Angels issue, and I think part of that is because I didn't get to see Psylocke sitting there and having her really great discussions with Sinister. If you've been keeping up with this series, she's had some odd conversations with Sinister, and I've got to say I've liked them, and I missed that in this book. I want to see him asking some of those tough questions and just seeing the look of pleasure on his face as she gives her answers. Something weird about this book I've really liked. Quite enjoyed that. Ooh, another one, guys. I just shot the video for this one. This one's going to be dropping here on the channel later today. Symbiote Spider-Man, Alien Reality. This book was good. I like the Symbiote Spider-Man. You guys can see I've got the poster right back there of the first series. This one right here, I like what's going on here. This is a great issue number 1 to get you into this. Some things happening here that were really great. Like, I'm not sure if you can tell, but I'm excited and I like this. I like this book. Like I said, I liked the previous series. This one pretty much picks up where that one left off. Yeah, it pretty much picks up where the Symbiote Spider-Man series left off. And Symbiote Spider-Man was basically a story that happened after Peter Parker had first gotten back from space during the Secret Wars, the original Secret Wars, and had the symbiote suit and was kind of learning about it. People were curious about it. Other people were experimenting on it and trying to learn and curious about it. Everybody's always so curious about them symbiotes, right? That's where this one picks up. This issue number 1 was great. We get some cameos from some characters in here who look like they're probably going to be a pretty regular part of this series here. I'll just tell you, this isn't going to be a spoiler, but we get Doctor Strange in this book, and we also get Black Widow in this book. Good stuff. Good stuff, and obviously you can tell who the villain is there. Yeah, you can tell who the villain is there. I don't need to tell you, but yeah, really good stuff. The other ones, I've got a video, just got the video shot of that they should be dropping here on the channel later today, is these right here. Silver Surfer and Beta Ray Bill, the Annihilation Scourge series. I've got to tell you guys, I've got some others I've got to do reviews of as well, and that's the 2099 books. And at this point, I'm almost dreading having to do the reviews on those, because it's just not the 2099 series hasn't been that great. Got to be honest with you, it hasn't been that great. And it sucks to say that, because I was looking forward and hoping that it would be good. But the Annihilation Scourge series, this series is good. I like it. These 2 books in particular are great. Out of all of these series, one-shots that have been coming out, these ones are the one-shots done into a little miniseries done right. 2099 is one-shots done into a miniseries done wrong. I feel like every single one of the 2099 books haven't carried the story forward. They haven't given me anything that's really playing into the fuller plot. It's just giving me a character story of what they're going through in 2099. That's largely been it. I'm sure they're all going to come, and merge in Amazing Spider-Man, and that's where the larger story is going to take place. That's what's been happening, and you don't really need to read the one-shots. This right here, I think you need to read these ones. These ones are good. Silver Surfer was great. I think this was my favorite out of all of these series. This one's probably my second favorite out of all the Annihilation Scourge books. Definitely these ones. The art in these books was really good too. I like the art in both of these books. I was really looking forward to Beta Ray Bill, because this one is actually being written by Michael Morecki. Is it Morecki? The guy, Robbie over at Pop Culture Philosophers says it's Morisi. I'm not sure which one's right, but these books were really good. Annihilation Scourge is one you should definitely read in. If you don't want to keep up with the floppies, wait till it comes out on trade paperback here in a couple months. This is going to be one worth owning. Just a good, interesting story. Of course, it is alternate reality kind of stuff, if you're not into that. Like my brother Chillmonger, I know he's not into, like all the alternate reality, future type of things out there in some of these books. So, hey, I get it, it's... that's what I do the reviews for. In case you're not reading them, you can still, somewhat get a little bit of what's going on here. But these books are really good. Some that are hitting the shelves today at your local comic book shop, and you should go check them out. Okay, let's see. Who else we got here in the chats? We got Perp Minded. How you doing this morning? Perp, I was actually on... You were doing a live stream yesterday. I got on there and hopped on and watched for a few minutes. I'm pretty sure that was you doing some gaming and stuff right there. I was gonna comment. I didn't wanna give you a hard time and bust your balls and be like, "What the hell, man? Nobody wants to watch you play video games, bruh. Nobody. I don't know. I could be wrong there, because I do it over on Young Ripper's channel all the time. I don't know, because he's doing other commentary and stuff with it too, and that's what you were doing, was talking to the audience as well, and not just concentrating on the game. I think that's, I don't know, for me that's something important, because like I don't want to just watch somebody play video games. Let's talk about something at the same time. So that's what that was pretty cool. Yeah, I seen that a little bit earlier today. B-Level Star Wars, thank you so much for being here. How you doing this morning? He says, hey man, hope you're doing well. We've had some issues with the Exile Twitter, so sorry if we dropped off like that. Still down to come on Max's stream with you, if you want to talk fandom. I would. Matter of fact, get a hold of me on Twitter, B-Level, because I would, I have no problem doing that here on my channel even as well. But first, I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you and just have a little conversation, and then and then we can line something like that up. Definitely. Because I think you probably have some very good things to say that I would like to hear, and yeah, we'll have that conversation. You know what I mean? Like typed conversations, especially like on Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that. I just don't really like communicating that way as much, because like sometimes people look too far into typed text. You know what I mean? Like they read things in it that aren't there. Just yeah. So we need to get together sometime. We need to get together. Maverick Pilgrim is saying hi. What's up? Immortal Biggie Shaq, what's up, my brother? How you doing? He says, I think Gwenpool comes out today. I don't know what else I'm getting. No, Gwenpool, well, not that I noticed Gwenpool didn't come out today. But you know what did though? What did come out today is another one I was looking forward to. I'm hoping, can Leigh Williams knock 3 of them out of the park with Amazing Mary Jane, issue number 3? I've been very critical of her work here on the channel. I've liked this book. Like, I think this was just like the right story for her, or the right book, the right title. I don't know what it is with Leigh Williams. I haven't liked her. I've been very critical of her writing. I'm telling you, I've liked the Amazing Mary Jane series. No shame. None at all. But no, I don't think Gwenpool drops today. I think it'd probably be next week maybe. But yeah, I didn't see it. I didn't see it this week yet. But thank you so much for being here. He said bunch of reprints. Yeah, there's a bunch of True Believers, and I think was there 2 facsimile copies or something too. Even Dynamite's getting in on the Dollar Comics this week. They have God, which one was it that's coming out? What was their Dollar comic they got? Oh, The Boys. They've got The Boys issue number 1 on their Dollar Comics coming out today too. Nice cover. Yeah. I'm guessing you're talking about the cover on the Spider-Man, or was it the Spider-Man book or the X-Force books, the X-Men books? I was going to say the Spider-Man one was really great. I really did like that one. Tarazan says, I picked up all of those so far, $118 today. Oh man, yeah. I I know I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean, Tara. Jesus, Tara. He says, I just like messing with Trinity. New books are getting lame lately. Some of them are, like I've noticed that even like in like some of like a lot of the Marvel titles, it's like, man, like you guys got to get some great storytellers back in here, telling these stories. Like at this point right now, a lot of people talk about Marvel comics. These like I think a lot of these people aren't reading the Marvel comics to really criticize them and be critical of them. They're just going off the whole, Marvel's pushing this SJW agenda, all this bullcrap. Largely, from what I'm noticing at this point, they're not. They're not pushing any of like a lot of the agenda stuff and anything like that. Largely, what I'm seeing now, the problem with Marvel comics is they're not telling good stories. They're not writing good books. You know what I mean? And it has like nothing to do with agenda, nothing to do with the agenda-based stuff. The SJW narrative, and I don't like. I'm not even reading that in the books at this point. I'm just not getting great stories. So when there's a great story out there that's being told, I want to read it. You know what I mean? And that's one I want to tell you guys about, and that's what I'm saying. That's the good thing about these right here. These Annihilation Scourge books. I believe this one right here, Morisi. He's been writing for Vault Comics. He's got quite a few books out on Vault Comics. I'm sure he's been doing some books for other people as well, other publishers. I haven't looked into all his books, but he's been writing a couple of the books that I really like on Vault Comics. He wrote this one. This is his first Marvel title. They need to get this guy. They need to give him more work. This book is good. This book is good. Go out and support this book. And I'm not sure. Dan Abnett. That name sounds familiar. I can't remember what. I think I've read something else by Dan Abnett. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was a good read. I just don't remember. I just don't remember his name. But these two books right here, because they're getting a lot of, like even in the 2099 books. Now I think that's the unfortunate thing about they're just not telling a good story over there. But even Lonnie Nadler, who has also wrote a book called Black Stars Above for Vault Comics, he did the Punisher 2099 book along with, I can't remember what the guy's name is. The Thompson guy, is it Jay Thompson? I can't remember the Thompson. It's not Kelly Thompson. There's another Thompson out there writing books that did that. But that's the thing with Marvel. Like at this point, it's not like agenda based stuff that's in their books. It's that they're just not writing good stories. They're not telling good stories. And these right here are books I want to see more of. These are good stories. This is a couple of them right here. So you're right there, Biggie Shack. A lot of the new books are getting lame, and I think that's just due to they need to get new writers in there who are hungry, who are out there doing comics for other publishers who are telling good stories, who have created their own characters. Michael Morisi, however you say his name, and I feel bad. I need to learn how to say his name properly because he's been writing some great books. And that's what they need to do. He's gone out there. He's written some great titles, so they need to bring them into their stable to write some good titles for them. I think that's something important because a lot of the titles they're getting right now, like I said, I read the Deadpool one. For me, it was written by Kelly Thompson. I have not really bad things to say about Kelly Thompson. I just have no great things to say about Kelly Thompson. The Captain Marvel stuff. I haven't really been into it. Not telling an exciting story or anything. It's just kind of it's moseying along. It's moseying along. It's not bad. It's just nothing really worth writing home about. But get some of these other books, man. I'm telling you. Like I said, Leah Williams has finally hit his stride with Amazing Mary Jane. I can't wait to read issue number 3. That's what it was ever since the first one. Like I was curious to read issue number 1 because I wanted to see her write a good story. I read it like twice. I read it and I was sitting there reading it and I'm like, did I just read that right? I went and read it again. I'm like, huh, this book is good. And then I went through and I was like, I read it I read that book 3 times. And I'm like, this book is good. I was actually looking forward to issue 2. I was. And now I'm looking forward to issue number 3 because she's written 2 in a row. And I've been, like I said, I've been critical of her writing and not wanting to, and not wanting to read it, but wanting to see an improvement. And she's shown it. I'm excited about that. You know what I mean? she's telling a good story. But I can't say the same for her Grenpool Strikes Back book. I just think the humor, maybe it's just the humor in that she's trying to write. She just don't like. I don't get it. Same thing with Kelly Thompson with the Deadpool book. I just didn't see. I just didn't like the book. There was really no humor in it for me. I didn't like the book. Like I said, for me, and like Biggie Shack was saying, for me, it's not been about like agendas or anything. They're just not telling good stories. They got some writers in here. They need to tell these good stories. They need to get these good writers in there. And there's a lot of great writers out there that are coming up through the indie scene that they can definitely utilize out there that are telling very, very good stories. Lonely Banter, what's up, my brother? How you doing this morning? Maverick Boomer says, yeah, that's a lot of books, Tara. That is a lot of books. And believe me, this week I probably could have spent that much if I had to buy all these issues that I wanted to take home this week. Because, luckily my comic book shop lent me a couple of these books so I could bring reviews on. So that's something nice. Captain Pennsylvania, what's up? How you doing this morning? B Levels Star Wars says, thanks, dude. I'll try to hit you up on Instagram DM. We're still on that. And yeah, you're totally right about the context and text and how we read into stuff. Yeah, man. Yeah, like I said, get a hold of me, man. Get a hold of me. We'll talk. We'll talk. We'll talk. Captain Pennsylvania says, is Mary Jane any good? Yes, it is. And believe me, like I was saying earlier, this comes from somebody who has been very critical of Leah Williams' writing in any of her past books. I read Chastity that she did for Dynamite. Didn't really like it. I got to read issue number 3. I didn't read issue number 3. And I think that was only a 3-issue miniseries anyway. But I didn't like. I liked the story that was kind of being set up, because she was kind of going after like these people who were doing human trafficking and stuff as well, kind of like they did in the recent Black Widow series. But I didn't like the book. It was like the character itself was just kind of a ripoff of Blade. I didn't like her writing in that. I did read her writing in Ant-Man or Giant Man. In the Giant Man series, that was a War of the Realms tie-in. Just didn't like it. And then even she did a book, Barbarella Deja Thoris, for Dynamite Comics as well. I read one of the titles. Just didn't like it. Just didn't like it. And that's why when I'm saying that Mary Jane is good, it's good. Okay, take my word for it. Take my word for it, please, please. I like Mary Jane and what's been going on in that story. Really do. Immortal Biggie says, nice. 2 facsimiles. I always get the reprints. Yeah. The True Believers are nice. I mean, they're only $1. Why not? Crazy guy. Comic song too crazy. What's up, everybody? Well, what's up with you? How you doing? People need to read more mangas. You know what, Pert Minded? I've actually thought about getting some of the Alita Battle Angel mangas for my daughters to read. Only thing is if you know, Pert Minded, what's the start of the series? What's the one that I need to get that's like the start of like the Battle Angel Alita stuff? What's the start of that? Let me know, because I want to get. I was thinking about getting one of like 2 of those, like one of each for my daughters this morning to read. So yeah, let me know what's the start of those. I would like to know that. Darth Vader says, damn, I'm late. What books did you show? Just a couple. Just the Annihilation Scourge books, a good mini series. I think you guys should probably check out. Symbiote Spider-Man, very good books, and then showed the Dawn of X titles that have been coming out. These ones are pretty good. Of course, these ones are actually pretty decent. New Mutants has some characters who are just kind of insufferable. They just seem like new generation kids, really, and that's, I mean, New Mutants, so I get it. But X-Force is a great book. X-Force is really good. Terrazon says, I buy a lot of comic books, but older stuff. Collectible stuff, I'll buy first issues to see if it's good, but I've dropped several Marvel ones, and I'm over Tom King on Batman. Yeah, I haven't read Tom King on Batman, but I've heard that he's not been doing a very good job. Flipped Out, good morning to you. How you doing? Annihilation, the old series? No, this is Annihilation Scourge. It's a new series that's going on right now. I think they've got 4 one-shot titles, then it's got the one that came first, which was Annihilation Scourge Alpha. Then they're going to have Annihilation Scourge Omega. So I think it's going to end up being 6 titles overall. It's been very good. Darth Wacko says that Silver Surfer looks cool. The Silver Surfer is my favorite out of all the Annihilation Scourge books, definitely. I gotta read that like today. My cousin Silver Surfer is in that. Oh, nice. Let's see here. Let me blow that up a little bit so I can read this a little bit better. Let's see. Immortal Biggie Shack says Deadpool can be good. Aaron did the last run. I didn't, and I didn't. I can't remember if I read was the last run of Deadpool. No, no, no. I think was that. I think it was. Was that just a solo series? The last one that was in. I think it pretty much ended with Secret Empire. Am I wrong? Did they do a series in between there, like an ongoing? I don't know, because I read some of the ones going into through Secret Empire, and I thought those were pretty good. I thought those were pretty good. Um, Let's see. Aggressively relaxing says there's so many incredible stories at Marvel right now. You're crazy. I just the thing is it's about how well written are they. I haven't wrote all of them. Just in some of the ones I've read, it's like the storytelling needs to be better. There needs to be a better quality here. Just out of the ones I've read, I haven't read all of them, so I'm not saying all of them, but just from some of the ones I've read, I'm like, they need somebody in here who's a little more excited and wanting to get people into these books. You know what I mean? Because like for the most part, a lot of the titles I've read, like they're good, but like they don't get me excited and ready to read the next one. Because like I know the next one's gonna come out next month. Like this issue is there's a story. It's gonna go somewhere. Like the more excitement in them. Um, Let's see. I Am True Skills says, "Bro, I wish I had your charisma in videos." No, I Am True Skills. Don't doubt yourself. You do pretty good in your videos. I mean, I know you don't. I don't think you do. I don't think I've seen you do any on-camera stuff. But don't. When you're doing voice stuff, that's a lot different too. When you're doing just voice stuff. But no, you do a good job, man. You do a good job. Just keep it up. You'll get better. Captain of Pennsylvania says, "Swordmaster was pretty cool. I do like Swordmaster. It is good. Gwenpool is kind of an ongoing story. I've been focusing on back issue keys. I've been getting lucky but picky. Nice, yeah, good deal. And I haven't read any of the old series, mostly just this new one, and haven't really liked it. Got some Venom, Spawn, and Savage Avengers. Nice, nice. What does Captain Pennsylvania says? What does Mary Jane do? Team ups? No, she's actually not even being like a superhero. What she's doing is, you like the whole story came about through Nick Spencer's The Amazing Spider-Man. Basically, she got a role in Hollywood for a movie role, because she's an actress, and the way she got it was, through not even heroics. She just happened to be in the right place at the right time and put her skills to work, and it worked for her. And she ended up, going to L.A. for this movie role, and that's what's going on in this series. Is she's being an actress in a movie role, but the situation itself is what's been good. So she's not like doing anything superhero per se, but she's just out there. How would you say, like championing things? Just being a good person and doing some good things, having some cool interactions, some cool interaction stuff. I really liked it, but no, not team ups. I mean, I guess you guess you could say she's teaming up with Mysterio. I guess you could say. Joe Lau, how are you doing this morning? Pert Minded says, "I did not notice your Bardock statue." Yeah, I've got Bardock. You probably can't. Oh, I've got Goku and Vegeta back here as well. And I've got other little action figures as well. I've even got like some of those little Dragon Balls. Pretty cool stuff. Snowdove says, "I like Mary Jane too." Jenner check. Comic guy song 2 crazy says, "No new books this week. Biggie Shack car died last night. Coming back from the oh man, that sucks, man. Get that fixed, man. That's the one thing. Like my cars, I know how to work on. So most of the work, if anything goes wrong with them, hopefully I can fix it." Aggressively relaxing says, "Captain America. Captain America's okay. Captain America, it's okay. It just seems like the story's just kind of, I don't know, dragging along. It seems like the first few issues were pretty good, and then it seems like it's just kind of dragging its feet a little bit. Hulk, I've heard Hulk has been pretty good. I haven't read Iron Man, and honestly, I haven't heard anybody talking about Iron Man. Fantastic Four, I've heard from others that it's been decent. Black Panther, I haven't really heard a whole lot of people talking about. Daredevil, I heard Daredevil has actually been pretty good. But is Chip Zdarsky doing that? I mean, he's a pretty good writer. They are all super political right now and are incredible. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I've been reading Captain America, and like it started off good. Now it's just kind of like, it's okay, And for me, the same thing has happened with Amazing Spider-Man. Like, it's been okay. Like the first, like 15 or so issues were pretty good, and then after that it's kind of gone like to it's okay, like it's not bad. It's just we need a little more excitement, in the storytelling. But like I said, the ones I'm reading, they're not terrible. They're just not great. You know what I mean? They're not terrible, just not great. Let's see. Immortal Biggie Shack says the new Star Wars Disney ride is lit. You going, Trinity? I haven't been on it, and I'm near Disneyland, not Disney World, and I think that's at Disney World. I don't think the one has opened up at Disneyland, but I certainly would like to go check that out when that opens because they need more rides there. They've only got one ride and a shopping mall and places to eat. I'm just not into all that stuff, so like they need more rides there. And other than that, it'd be okay. But it just seems like there's not enough excitement there right now. Um, let's see. I got Red Mother from Boom to check out. Yeah, I heard Red Mother was good. I was watching Pop Culture Philosophers. He said that one was pretty good, and I was curious about that one too. I want to maybe grab that one to do a review on. Blackhawks have big hockey sticks. You're funny. Black Angus Reviews says, "Hey, bigots, how you doing?" Black Angus. Darth Wacko says, "I'm gonna check them out today. It's new comic book day. Yes, definitely, definitely." Immortal Biggie Shack says, "Jason Aaron, I don't think Secret Empire ended it." Okay, all right, yeah. I was gonna say I know I was reading it through Secret Empire, and I liked those issues that were going on through there. Black Angus says, "Have you thought of writing a comic given your knowledge?" I'm not really that knowledgeable about comics, but I've certainly thought about it. But telling just some different stories. And one of the stories that I've been reading, I was like, that's the kind of story I would like to tell. The story, because, it's something stuff that I know about, stuff that I'm familiar with. But there's a story going on right now in Aftershock Comics called Shoplifters Will Be Liquidated. And it's funny because it takes place in like a futuristic retail environment. Absolutely hilarious, great stuff. And the new issue of that actually just dropped this week, and I can't wait to read it. But that's probably the kind of book I would start off with and see how that does, and then move something forward. But I've thought about it. I've certainly thought about it. But I'm not like a writer or anything. If anything, I'd be more of the artist, or maybe I could do everything. Maybe I could be like Wando or Michael FIFA and do my whole just everything. You know what I mean? Or Rod Reese. I'm sure there's other writers out there who do that. Writer, artist, letterer, artist, colors, all that stuff as well. Um, let's see. Captain Pennsylvania says Cap got boring to me as well, and that's my guy. Yeah, me too. Like I said, it started off really good. I really did like I don't know. Like I said, like the first 5-6 issues are really good. But at 10 it was kind of like okay, it was kind of leveling out, and now it just I don't know. It just seems to have it's not been as great. It's not been as great. How about let's see. How about editing, brother? I don't know. I don't know. About editing what? Editing comic books? Oh, I don't I don't know about that. But Disneyland one not open is what Lonely Banter says. All right, yeah, I didn't think it was because believe me, I would go check. I'd go check it out, but I'll probably wait until all the crowds die down from it. Which, of course, depending on who you're talking to, they might tell you that there is no crowds, right? All right, guys. Here in just a few minutes, gonna go ahead and we're gonna get into some talk here about Marvel versus DC. There's just some crazy things going on out there in the news lately, right? Have you guys been paying attention to that? Chaos and Comics, how you doing this morning? He says, I'm out of town. I may have to cheat on my LCS and go to one here in Newport for new books. I may have to do that here at the end of the month as well, man. So I hear you. Because I'm going to Seattle for vacation. And yeah, I'm going to feel bad. But man, I'm going to need my comic book fix, man. Aggressively relaxed says Captain America has been a look at justice in America from all angles. Oh yeah, definitely. A hero, a convict, a vigilante, and how the difference between these things is how the media portrays them. It's brilliant. Yeah, no. I've liked it. It's just like the first handful of issues were really good, and then it's just kind of leveled off, and it's like, all right, like we need to, a little bit more here, a little bit more here. But no, I've liked it. But like I said, the storytelling, like it could be better. I'm like, give me more. Because even like some, what you're talking about there, like how the story is. One of the things that I like, I don't mind that being in there. There needs to be a little bit more excitement in the story altogether. Just a little bit more. Something to get me more excited to read each and every issue. Where it's just like it's not like I said, it's not bad. It's just like stagnant. It's just like it's going. And it's like okay, the next issue is coming out next month. We'll read it. We'll read it. Something a little more exciting. Like I said, that's how Spider-Man started off too. With Nick Spencer's Spider-Man, it started off like I get done with it, I'm like, oh man, like okay, I can't wait to read the next one. And slowly that excitement has kind of died down. So I think they got to keep it fresh. Keep something good. Like I said, like Symbiote Spider-Man was a perfect example. You know, they did the Symbiote Spider-Man book. I thought it was pretty good, and then this one right here, this one actually got me excited to read it. You know, this Alien, what is it, Alien Reality? This one actually got me excited to read the next book. So yeah, I mean, I think it's just some of that. Okay, so now getting into the next thing I want to talk about here is, you know, as we all know, we're getting ready to go into 2020, and there are obviously some big movies getting ready to come out from Marvel and even DC. And we see that Black Widow just released its trailer last week. A lot of talk about that. And you know, I'm excited for Black Widow. You know, I mean, for one, I love Scarlett Johansson. She's a great actress. You know, she's very beautiful. Love Black Widow, great character. I'm excited to see this movie. I like the trailer. I know, even like Fatal J, he saw the trailer. He wasn't into it. He didn't wasn't too excited about seeing it. But you know, hey, that's all good. But me, I'm excited to see. I've been waiting for this movie. I know it's not the movie that I want to see, but I'm still looking forward to seeing the movie. And then obviously, you know, later in the week, here over the weekend, we got Wonder Woman 1984, and this trailer is absolute fire. I like this trailer. A lot of people are you know, of course, you got, you know, your MCU stands and DC stands and all that kinds of stuff out there who are currently out there fighting in this war over these fandoms, and to me, it's just weird. It's just weird. Guys, it's okay to like all of them. You can like the MCU and you can like DC. You can. I like both of them. You know what I mean? It's possible. I like both of the DC movies that Warner Brothers has been doing. You know, I grew up on Warner Brothers DC movies. Okay, Warner Brothers. I mean, you know, with the DC stuff, they were pretty much the only ones in the game for a long time. You know, they had great movies that they put out, and you know, I don't think the original Christopher Reeve's Supermans, I don't think those were on Warner Brothers. I could be wrong, but maybe by now Warner Brothers probably owns the studio that put those out at the time. I don't know. I could be wrong there. I could be wrong. I'd need to look into that. But I grew up on great DC characters. You know what I mean? I grew up on that. Marvel's been dominant lately, you know, and it looks like, you know, Warner Brothers is looking to even the scales. And they could. They easily could. And I want them to. You know what I mean? Anybody out there who's a fan of comic book movies wants them to. Not just stans, you know. This isn't just stans that want them to do good. We all want them to do good if you like these superhero comic book movies. You want all of them to do good. You know, essentially, I mean, you want them to do good so then we can get more. You know what I mean? With the technology that they've been utilizing in these movies and everything, it just only expands more and more what they can do with these movies and within the realm of these movies. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. You want them to be successful. You know, I get being a fan of one over the other and stuff, but out there just like standing for this stuff, like where you're gonna talk trash to people who are fans of the DC EU, if they're still calling it that, whatever. I just call it the Warner Brothers DC. If you're talking trash to those people who like that because you're an MCU stan, like you're a weirdo. You're a weirdo, bro. Okay, there's nothing to argue here. You want these things to do good, but as we can see, you know, these things are kind of ramping up, and I'm sure here soon enough we're gonna hear all these other people talking about Black Widow versus Wonder Woman and all this kinds of stuff. And guys, who cares about that? I don't care that the ones by Marvel Studios and they're owned by the evil Disney. Oh God, Disney's so evil. They hurt my feelings. I don't care about that. I just want good damn movies, okay? But we know there's going to be people out there starting to push this narrative and starting to talk trash about these, you know, different movies, and they're going to pit Wonder Woman against Black Widow and all. Don't care. Don't care. I do not care. I just want good movies. That's all I want. I just want good movies. And so anyway, we can obviously see, you know, there's been a lot of controversy lately over the past couple years with people when they're out promoting their movies. A lot of this seemed to have started there's no coincidence of time when this started, okay? We all know that there was some big controversy started out there in fandoms and things over Ghostbusters 2016, and now we're getting a new Ghostbusters trailer too. You know, there's more going into that, which that trailer wasn't that great. That new trailer wasn't that great. But a lot of this started back in 2016 when the Ghostbusters was going through their promotion, getting ready to come out of the theater. Coincidentally, something else big happened in 2016 as well that kind of set all this off in motion as well. Made all of these, it made fandoms start to go into a divide because of, you know, like people started treating fandoms like politics. You know what I mean? Yet a lot of these people in these same fandoms will say that they want politics out of movies, but you're bringing in the same narrative to. Anyway, beside the point. Beside the point. But you guys know what I'm talking about. Don't act like you don't. Don't act like you don't know the people that I'm talking about that are doing this trash out there too, keeping the fans divided over stuff. Okay, the politics have always been in movies, and they're expressive mediums. Okay, it's not reflecting your politics. That's what you don't like about it. Okay, largely that's the bigger issue is it's not reflecting your personal politics, and it's showing somebody else's. Come on, guys, that's the problem here. Give me a dislike if you want. It's the damn truth. Okay. It's not reflecting your politics and you don't like it, okay? That's not saying that I enjoy it, okay? I don't like seeing it neither. But let's face it, that's where these fandoms have the point that fandoms have gotten to, where people are acting like these stupid fandoms. You know, being a fan of something is the same thing as politics, and people can't talk about them like regular people. But we can see out there has been a lot of this has been also driven by the stars themselves. You know, coming out and saying things in social media. You know, that the same thing happened with Ghostbusters 2016, where the stars were out there saying these things about, you know, the audiences and getting people to go out to them and to go see the movie. Just these different things. There was a lot of, you know, what's her name? She took a lot of heat for some things said. Leslie Jones. I believe Melissa McCarthy, even the director went out there and saying they were all really saying stuff. There were some people out there that weren't saying much about it though. There were some of the stars not saying being as vocal about it, but then all these these movie campaigns started. You know, obviously last year Brie Larson with her comments that she made at a Women in Films awards ceremony thing, you know, made some remarks that a lot of people took as disparaging and taking shots at them. Hey, I get it, you know. So that turns a lot of people off, and then it became this thing, just all these movies seem to be, like they've got to be against each other. It's got to be against, everybody's got to be against each other. It's got to be a war. It's got to be a battle, guys. Can we just start with, if you don't like the movie, don't like the movie. It's cool. You want to talk about it? Talk about it. That's fine. But when we're talking to each other, it's okay for us to be fans. It's okay for somebody else. It's okay for somebody else to like Captain Marvel. It's okay for somebody to like Aquaman. It's okay for somebody to like Shazam. You know what I mean? It's okay. It's okay. It's no reason to fight and be jerks to each other. And talk about the differences. Talk about what you like about the movies. Talk about the things you dislike. Okay. Don't let what these stars out there are saying in the media decide for you whether the movie is good or not. Now, largely that's arguable with Captain Marvel. I like the movie. I think it's an okay movie. It's not the greatest MCU movie, that's for sure. There's a lot of things wrong with it. You know what I mean? But overall, I think it's an okay movie. But we can see a lot of people are affected by what the stars are saying out there in the media when it comes down to interviews and things like that. And I get it, because a lot of people look to, agendas, political ideologies, and things that people express in these interviews and stuff. Like me, I largely don't care about that. I don't care what these stars think politically or anything like that. I don't care about that. Their little messages or anything, agendas they want to push. I don't care about that. Even when they talk about it, I largely don't care about it. But we all listen. We all hear. You know what I mean? And we should be aware of these things. We should be aware. We should at least, and that's the thing is, you don't have to agree with them, but you should at least hear them out. Because one thing, a lot of these, the youth are influenced by these big people. So you should, if you have kids, you should talk to them and make sure, make sure you're instilling your values in your kids. You know what I mean? Your values. Don't let somebody else do that for you. And that's what we see a lot of in the movies now. And, we're getting ready to go here into an election year. Right? Into an election year. And then we've got, once again, we've got Marvel versus DC. We've got movies that are going to be going against each other. We've got Marvel versus DC, Black Widow versus Wonder Woman, and it's going to come down to that. People are going to bring it down to that. They are. You guys are probably commenting about it right here in the comments. I'll get to those in just a minute, but it's going to happen. Okay, we already know the people who are going to be out there pushing those narratives and all that. We know the culprits. We all know the culprits. And like I said, that's their prerogative to go out there and say that, to say what everybody else is thinking, right? We can all speak for ourselves. You don't have to feel the exact same as somebody else. We all, you all have a unique voice, and don't be afraid to express your opinions. And you're going to get pushback from it from other people. It's going to happen. That doesn't mean that you have to go to war and cross swords with everybody. It's not about that. We're still fans, and we can still like what you like and dislike what you like. But we can see how here, while this war is getting ready to go on, it's going to happen, people. It's going to happen. We're going into an election year. We've got Marvel versus DC. We've got Warner Brothers versus Disney versus Marvel Studios. You know what I'm saying? We've got all this getting ready to go on, guys. I'm already sick of it. In case you can't tell. But that's largely that's what I talk a lot about here on the channel in the first place, is a lot about fandoms and how we interact with each other. That's what I'm more worried about than your personal politics, what you personally like and dislike. I want to talk about those things. I'm not going to talk down to you for you having your opinions about them. As a matter of fact, if somebody else is going to talk, I try to keep it not safe for work here, but we're going enough. I will go out there and talk shit to other people if there are people talking shit to you for having an opinion, because to me, that's fucking ridiculous. Okay? People are allowed to have their opinions and like the things that they want. Don't be a bitch about it. Don't be an asshole to other people. I fucking hate that shit. Okay? Now, we know what's going to happen. You don't have to, don't give into it. That's what they want. It's only going to further the divide in fandoms. It's going to further affect, everything that's getting ready to go on in politics and all of that shit. Just don't feed into it. It's okay for people to like what they like. It's okay for you to vote who you want to vote for and all of that shit. It's not that serious, folks. The political side of it is, yes. The ramifications are serious, So go flex your voting, whatever you want, any of that stuff. Go vote with your dollars at the movie theater. It's all fine and dandy. But don't feed into the divide that's getting ready to happen in fandoms, between people, fandoms, politics, and all that shit. Don't fucking give into it, guys. If you want to go somewhere where you can know that you're going to get something, I won't even say fair and balanced. If you want to go out there, this whole next year and see somebody who's going to give it to you without bullshitting you about it, without spinning any fucking kind of ridiculous narratives or anything, stick right here, guys. Okay? Stick right here, because you guys, that's not who I am. That's not the stuff I care about, and I will be here. I will be here to be that same voice out there in fandoms for you. And I'm more than willing to join arms with other people who are the exact same, who want to carry those conversations, even if they agree or don't agree with me. So that's all coming. But we can see that during all of this, how could you say this fan war, if you will, is starting to be spearheaded by the people over at Warner Brothers and DC and Marvel, Disney. You guys need to look out. And Young Ripa actually did a video talking about this just this morning, and there was somebody that interacted in the comments with me about this as well. Because I was saying, because Gal Gadot was recently in an interview where she expertly, just like Henry Cavill did, was it last week, in an interview talking about toxic fans. You know what I mean? And he really, he took that thing head on and spoke about the fans and those kinds of things like a damn expert. Okay? Like a damn expert. He navigated those waters, and it was great. It was great. Expert level stuff. And the people over at Marvel Studios, Disney, and that was one of the things I said there. You need to get your people in check and get them in line here with stuff, somebody was like, oh well, they shouldn't do that because silence their people and all that, because we need to know who these people are and their agendas and all that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not saying that they need to silence them, but what they need to do is tell their people, get with them to handle PR like the people are, like Henry Cavill did, like Gal Gadot just did. in navigating those PR waters when you're being in interviews saying these things that are going to turn away audiences. And that's what it's about, is not saying stupid things in interviews that are going to turn away audience members. And I'm not saying that their message is stupid or anything like that. They're free to have their opinions and feel how they want to feel, but you don't want to turn away audience members. You don't want to turn away potential fans of your movie, potential fans of the franchise, potential fans of the studios. You don't want that. We can see that it's already taken place in fandoms and has already affected the movies, the films, and the studios. It has. You know what I mean? And nobody out there can say that it hasn't. Okay? Nobody out there can say that it hasn't. It has affected it. Now, hopefully, as negative as it has been, hopefully it has positive outcomes. That's what we all ultimately want, is for it to have positive outcomes. And what Gal Gadot just said in this interview was, once again, expertly navigating those waters. And like I was saying in this video of Young Rippos in this comment section, where I told the guys, like, oh, like, I completely got what he's saying. Like, we know who most of these people are. I'm not saying that they can't express their opinions, but when they're in these interviews on these junkets for their specific movie, promoting their movie, and in interviews where they are actually out there promoting their movie and stuff, like, pick and choose your battles. You know, they have platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram and things like that where you can express those, where these stars can express those opinions that they have not as broad of a reach. Like, some of them probably do with their own people, their own fans, but in the interviews, use that to, you know, talk about the movie and get people to want to watch your movie. Maybe after the movie is out and you're in interviews, or you're in interviews where you're not talking about the movies, promoting the movie, express those opinions at that point, you know, in those interviews. And I'm not saying they can't do them, but they need to reel their people in, just like they seem to be doing, the PR people who are obviously working for Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot, you know. And coincidentally, these people both have worked for Warner Brothers in the DC properties. So I'm telling you, this whole thing, like, they're doing something right over there. I mean, I'm not saying that it was Warner Brothers and DC that went out to their people and said, hey, man, make sure you guys don't go out there and disparage your customers, viewers, and stuff like that. I'm not saying that they did that. But we can obviously see that the people who are agents or PR people for Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot know and have talked to their people about navigating these tricky waters and not wanting to disparage potential customers and viewers, moviegoers, and things like that. Expertly done, expertly handled. That's all they need to do. That's all you need to do. You don't have to. They didn't go out there and spout out any of their own personal ideologies or anything like that. They just came out there and said, like, look, you know, Henry Cavill came out and said, hey, look, I don't look at these as toxic fandoms. It's just passionate fans. Gal Gadot was saying, like, oh no, this isn't, like, this movie is for boys, you know, like, and like all the things that she had to say. And I'd have to watch it again. I only watched the reel once. All the things that she says, she makes great points, you know, really even saying a lot of the same things that these other people are trying to say, that they're just stuffing their foot in their mouth while they're trying to say as well. She handled it like an expert. Why can't everybody do that? You know what I mean? And again, this comes down to, obviously they have good PR people, good agents, and obviously these people aren't trying to cause a divide out there in fandoms. You know what I mean? And to me, both of these people get big pluses in my book, right? Yay! Now, of course, we can easily say, and there's a lot of people out there who will say, well, Scarlett Johansson had the chance, she was doing it, and she ended up backing down. I don't think she did. I think everything that she did and what she did was just to protect her name and her brand. And I don't really feel that she walked back her statements at all. I think largely, like she said, her stuff was taken out of context. But she was still saying the exact thing that we all kind of really wanted to hear, while also not turning anybody away. And that's what you got to do. Is, you know, there's ways to express those opinions and to navigate those waters. And I think even Scarlett Johansson did a pretty decent job with what happened with her, you know, earlier here in the year. What was that, a few months ago, back in like August or September? So there's all that. But of course, there's people out there that's going to say, "Oh, she bent the knee to the liberal media and all this stuff." Like, come on, guys. You got to look at full stories and things like that. To just like when there was all those gay Spider-Man rumors going on out there because Tom Holland was in an interview and he never said there was going to be one. He just said, they asked him specifically, "Do you ever see there being a gay Spider-Man being portrayed on screen?" And the only logical answer to that is yes. I mean, it's possible. Yeah, I could see it. That's not saying it's going to happen or anything like that, but of course, everybody takes that out of context and says, "Oh, Tom Holland says there's going to be a gay Spider." No. No. These are just people trying to push these narratives out there, and they just, it's clickbait trash, and people who are just largely wanting to push their own narrative because they're upset because their opinions aren't being expressed by these people, and that's the way they think it should be. That's not the way it is, folks, okay? That's just not the way it is. Like I said, even with the whole thing, people are like, "Oh, we want politics out of our entertainment." Entertainment is for politics. Music, movies, books, any of these mediums, they are expressive mediums for people to express themselves. That's what they've always been about, more than anything. It's just when it's done. There's times when it's done in a good way, where it's more, it's actually thought provoking and makes you want to think about these things, and maybe, makes you look at something from another person's point of view because of the way the movie is done and stuff like that. But that's largely what the politics, the politics, the agendas have always been there. It's just in particular avenues of entertainment, it's not always been done in such a sloppy way. That's ultimately what it comes down to, is sloppy storytelling, sloppy scripts, sloppy anything like that. That's really what it comes down to. So guys, I'm telling you, all this stuff is getting ready to come over the next year. Don't let it take us back even more. You know what I mean? We're starting to make progress here with fandoms. Everybody's starting to be a little more less on edge, a little less at each other's throats. Everybody, I really do see these things out there in the fan communities. People starting to okay, starting to calm down just as we're getting ready to go into Star Wars, just as we're getting ready to go into election year, as we're going into Black Widow and Wonder Woman. Guys, let's continue that trend. Don't let all these, people's opinions and people's thoughts and all that stuff. Don't let these things deter us from having the conversations that we've been having lately. Things that the fandoms have been growing back together. Slowly, but surely. And that's what I'm saying. You can come here and know that you're going to get a sane voice talking about these things as we move forward in through this next year. I thank all of you guys for being here so much. Once again, let's see what all everybody has to say in here, and see who else has shown up here in the meantime. I am True Skill says, "Would you ever do a Spider-Man voiceover for me?" Yeah, sure, anytime. Just get a hold of me and let me know. We'll talk about it. Ruthie, Star Wars for Life review. How are you doing this morning? I hope you're doing well. Biden Touch, good morning. How you doing? Dawn of X is the hottest out right now, and Conan, says Captain Pennsylvania. As far as out of the big two, Dawn of X has been good. Excalibur just hasn't been great. Excalibur hasn't been great. Issue number 3 was just absolute worst. Largely, I've liked X-Force is my favorite at this point. X-Men has been good. Fallen Angels has been decent. This 3rd issue is it's okay. New Mutants, it's okay. And then, God, what was the other one? There's the other one I'm forgetting about. God, it's not one of the ones that came out today. What is the other one? Did I just name them all? I may have, because I know there's 6 of them. Yeah. Oh, Marauders. Marauders has been really good too. Unfortunately, I don't think Marauders is going to last very long. But yeah, you're right, Captain Pennsylvania. It has been good. As far as the big two, I've been really getting into indies, man. There's been a lot of great indies coming out lately. U.S. Dutch Kitty, thank you for being here. Says, "I'm excited about Wonder Woman 84. Me too, man. It looks great. Looks great. I love Wonder Woman, but not so much feeling the movies." Hey, that's your prerogative. Nothing wrong with that. Immortal Biggie Shack says, 84, a lot of cocaine. Yeah, right. U.S. Dutch Kitty says, "I grew up mostly a Marvel gal because of the cartoons, but I've always had a special place for Wonder Woman." Oh yeah, definitely, especially Linda Carter, right? Yeah. We had a Dolph Lundgren Punisher. Yeah, hey, don't laugh about that. I like Dolph Lundgren Punisher. And I actually like Thomas Jane Punisher. And I still never seen Punisher Warzone, but I need to because I heard it was really good. Done by a female director. Let's see. United Comics Universe. How are you? Good. How are you doing? Good morning to you. It says we are comics. Yes, we are, man. Um, how can you like? How can you like comics and not like DC and Marvel? That's because there's weirdos out there, bro. There's weirdos out there. That's why. Crazy part of Wonder Woman 84 is it's been done for a while now. There was no negative. There was no negative press about it. Nothing. The crazy part about Wonder Woman has been done for a while. Oh yeah, 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 and because they've been concentrating. Because for one, hopefully they've been concentrating on just making a good movie. Mortal Biggie Shed says, "Who do you bum, Black Widow or Wonder Woman?" You know what? I'll be honest with you. Are we talking comic books or movies? If we're talking about movies, Black Widow has a little more meat on her bones, so there's that. But they're both very beautiful women. So yeah. So I would have to say it's a draw. I'd have to say it's a draw. Honestly. But I've always really had a thing for Scarlett Johansson. I really have. I really have. I'm with you on that Second Street Marvel. I just want to watch a good movie. Exactly. Exactly. I know what you're talking about, and I'm in agreement with you. Well, thank you. Snow Dub, what's up? Aggressively says generic corporate girl power messages in media is one of the worst things on earth, and you should realize that. Yeah, just like the generic girl power stuff. Yeah, yeah, agreed. Now the thing is I have no problem with that. I mean, you just got to do it right. Like, you shouldn't have to go out. You don't have to kick others down to build yourself up. You know what I mean? That's ultimately the bigger thing. I have no problem with like the girl power stuff. That's women are women. I love women. Captain Vince, Pennsylvania says the more I watch Captain Marvel, the more I like it. Yeah, it's a decent movie. It's not bad. It's not a great movie. You know what I mean? It's just not a great, like, especially comparing it to like the other MCU movies. I don't mind it. I think it's about halfway on my ranking list of Marvel movies. And my ranking list comes down to just like I still haven't done the video. I don't care what people say. I love the live action Lady and the Tramp. I haven't seen it yet. Haven't watched it yet. I think my wife watched it. United Comics Universe says, I have to go now. Stop by and show some love and respect. Also, continue telling the truth. Thank you for that. We are comics. Yeah, guys, go check out United Comics Universe. Got a very good channel over there. Very good on camera and speaking and things like that. So you should go check them out. Aggressively Relaxed says, it's not okay for people to like the last Fantastic Four movie. Okay, all right, fair enough. I'll give you that. Um, they have a live action Lady and the Tramp. Where the hell have I been? Yeah, it's on Disney Plus, man. It's on Disney Plus, Cap. But yeah, I haven't watched it either. Just jumped on me here. Let's see. Maverick Pilgrim says, just wait. The Lord of the Rings and World. What is it? WOT is. I don't know. Series will drop. The sleeping nerds will awake. Right? Yeah. Right. Yeah. The Lord. Yeah. I'm not sure what WOT is, but yeah. I hear is that World of Thrones? Is that like instead of Game of Thrones? I don't know. Captain Pennsylvania says, I like when people disagree with me about comics. You get a different perspective from them and sometimes become a new fan. Yeah, totally. It's good having conversations. Aggressively says, I got my pitchfork ready for any angry Lord of the Rings fans if they mess this up. I don't like the movies, but I wouldn't talk bad on it. Says Captain Pennsylvania. Yeah, and that, like I said, it's okay to be critical, but you don't have to be an asshole. I guess that's ultimately what it comes down to. I'm just going to sit in my hobbit hole with my cup of tea and let the war rage on outside. Very good, Maverick Pilgrim, as most people should. As most people should. I did like the Hobbit. I didn't see the Hobbit movies. I only seen the Lord of the Ring ones. Biden Touch says, I don't think people will dislike Gal Gadot no matter what she says. Probably not. Yeah, she, again, very beautiful young lady. That's for sure. Very beautiful young woman. Biden Touch says, being stunning, people that don't tend to hear what you say. Being stunning, people don't tend to hear what you say. I know being a handsome beast myself. Right? It's true. It's very, very true. Though sometimes what we say can make us ugly at the same time. Captain Pennsylvania says, I just need a good movie version of Scott Summers. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I'm going to be 100% honest with you here. Is I actually like, oh man, who was the actor who played him? Man, his name just went off. The actor who played him, James Marsden, I like him as Cyclops. He just didn't get a great role of Cyclops. You know what I mean? But I liked him as Cyclops. Like, I think he's easily a Cyclops. You know what I mean? He's easily a Cyclops, and I like him as Cyclops. He's just, just the movies and the portrayal, just the direction just wasn't that great. But yeah, you're right. Do need a good Scott Summers. Maverick Pilgrim says, I haven't heard the Gadot and Cavill interviews. You just search them look at them. You'll find them pretty fast if you search here on YouTube soon enough. They were all recent within the past week as well, so should be fairly easy to find. Captain Pennsylvania says, gotta roll. IHOP is calling me. Till next time. All right, take it easy, Cap. Election years are usually calm. Not. Yeah, right. Maverick Pilgrim says, any work of creativity has a message and or a philosophy. We should be able to handle seeing things from different ideas. If not, don't consume. Exactly. I 100% agree with you, Maverick Pilgrim. The sad thing is, like I said, a lot of the fandoms have somewhat gone the way of politics these days. And yet people scream and argue that they don't want politics being part of their fandoms, yet they treat their fandoms exactly like politics. Odd. Anyway, yeah, that's all I've got for this video today, folks. Thank you all so much. Make sure you stay tuned here to the channel. Like I said, I've got some new comic book reviews that are going to be dropping on the channel here today. Got a lot of work to do. Got to take my kids to karate class. Don't forget, it's New Comic Book Day. Go out and support your local comic book shop. Don't forget, on Friday is the Soska Sisters Rabid is going to be in select movie theaters, but you can also find it on video on demand. I did a video on that on Monday where you can go and check that out. And there, I even left a link in the comments section where you can go to pre-order the copy of Rabid, a remake of a 1977 David Cronenberg classic. You guys should do it. Go check out those videos and look forward to more comic book reviews coming up here on the channel later during the week. You all have a very good day. Have a great rest of your week. Go out and support your local comic book shop, and we'll see you in the next video. Later.